Good morning. Thanks to everyone for being here. It's 9 o'clock, and we always like to get these things started on time and be respectful of everyone's time so we can get you here and get you out. If we may start this morning with the roll call, please.
Commissioner Ashworth.
Here.
Commissioner Banks.
Here.
Commissioner Hassler.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson. Commissioner Wild.
Here.
Thank you very much. Before we get started, Lieutenant, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have anything in the open discussion, item A? No, nothing? Okay. Well, we always have the honor and privilege of swearing in deputies. And this morning we have St. Louis Airport Police Department as well as WashU. If I could ask the gentlemen to please come forward. There are gentlemen, yes, yes.
And ladies.
Yeah, but there's no lady with them.
Yes.
It is.
Oh, there's a lady with them. There is a lady with them. You were hiding. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. That's because that big guy was sitting next to you. Yeah, scoot down. Let's get down there. Thank you. This is painless. All right. I'm going to ask you all to raise your right hand and recite the oath. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I am a citizen of the United States, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri and the charter and ordinances of St. Louis County, that I will faithfully adhere to the regulations provided in the rules and procedures for deputization as adopted by St. Louis County, and that I will faithfully demean myself as a deputized officer of St. Louis County Police. So help me God. Thank you very much. And one quick thing. All right. This is for our airport officers. As a deputized officer of St. Louis County, you are restricted to the protection of persons and property at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. Yes. And for our WashU deputies, as a deputized officer for St. Louis County, your authority is restricted to the protection of persons and property on the Washington University campus. Right? Thank you. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. All right, man. Don't give me a ticket out there now.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your work out there. Thank you so much. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Congrats again. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Well, they were smart enough, Chief, to know to get out of here right after they did that.
They knew to do that.
Yeah, they knew to get there. I turn it over to you, Chief.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Good morning, all. I have some commendations to present. Come up when I call your name. Kara Groblinghoff. There she is, right there. I got to have Charlie around. He's supposed to be my aide, but I'm aiding him today, okay? Kara, congratulations, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's yours. And we're going to take a picture there.
Yes. What's her name?
You doing?
All right, stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here. Who's up next?
Throw a chair through it.
Catherine Martin. That's yours. And me this side, okay? Thank you. Stay here. Janelle Benson. Janelle, congrats. That's yours. Thank you. Alexis Geisler? Geisler, I had it right the first time, okay.
Ask for an opinion of
Congrats.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring it up to him.
And Sherry McGinnis. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's yours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Campbell, you're up, ma'am.
On November 21st, 2024, the biology DNA section was contacted by the FBI regarding evidence from a case where a woman was abducted from the front of her home and hours later found murdered in the city of St. Louis. Evidence was brought to the lab around 5 p.m. The evidence custodians and the scientists worked together to quickly enter the evidence, triage the evidence, and process the evidence, and received a CODIS hit two CODIS hits less than 24 hours later. The names of the individuals were quickly provided to the investigators, and within an hour, one of the subjects was apprehended. The professionalism and dedication of the scientists and evidence custodians reflects highly on the image of the St. Louis County Police Department.
Thank you, girls, I appreciate it. Anybody here with you?
My lab family.
Your
And
lab
my police
family?
family.
And your police family, great. You guys want to go forward?
Thank you.
Anybody here with you, other than your lab family? Okay. Same here? All right.
Thank you.
Same here? Lab family, cool.
It's a real brain trust. Well done. Well done. That's the real brain trust.
Good job.
That's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Or I guess we're gonna keep the ball in your court.
Yes, sir.
You're up next.
Up first for the chief's report is the Budget Committee. Terry? We don't have Terry here? She was trying to hide.
I was waiting.
And you guys are more than welcome to leave if you wish, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Terry, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. You were right. I'm sorry.
That's recorded.
My fault. Terry was right. That is recorded. Anyone who doesn't want to stay for the business portion is welcome to leave now.
Saving people.
You were trying to avoid the stampede, Terry?
I'm gonna embarrass you. I'll try.
Okay.
All right, ready? Good
Yes.
morning. Nothing has really changed from last month. Still a $4 million shortage. I upped the overtime just a little bit. I'm thinking it's gonna be 4 million short instead of the 3.7. Retirement payouts, I kept it the same at 1.7, although I do hear rumors of a few more people going in the fall. So I'll know more when they come to us. Retirement, they have not changed that 35% yet, so it's still a 2 million shortage. Medical showing a surplus, and fuel, telephone, and vehicle maintenance. Then for the 2026 budget, we have a meeting on August 26th. That's our first one with the budget office to go over it, and that's when we kind of tweak numbers and kind of see where we're at. And that's all I really have on the 2026. Then the ARPA, we've spent $27,949,892. We've submitted everything to the state, and we've been reimbursed everything from the state. They're getting it to us a little quicker. So that is it for me. Any questions?
Questions?
Terry, I have just one, and my apologies for asking the question. You may have dealt with it either of the last 2 months that I wasn't here, but the 8.4 million and the 3.6 million, they haven't changed much all year long.
The 8 point, so that is the lag.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that is with the salary lag included in there. No, they're not going to change. That's going to stay the same.
as we get further in the year, though, we don't get a refinement of those numbers?
Where's my glasses? My print's too little. I got them. Yeah, that 8 million and that 3.5 is what the county council set. That'll never change. Woo! Talk with my hands.
I mean,
It's time for me to go.
so I'm not sure I fully understand that. I thought they set that at the beginning of the year, and as we worked through the year, those numbers would change because we're now 7 out of 12 months in the year. That's a projection of a surplus or deficit.
Total with the surpluses and deficits of the salary, all those different accounts, and then all the fringe accounts included with that 8.3 and 3.5. So it's like the grand total of all of that together. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So the lag, those numbers will never change.
How do they not?
Bottom line is going to change.
Okay.
They project how many we're going to hire and how many we're gonna lose, and then they just set that number.
Yes, and they think we have to work around that number, and we haven't because we still have a 4 million projected shortage. But that's mostly because of fringes, which we don't set.
So at the end of the year, what happens?
That's a great question.
They project differently next
They
year
will-
based on how we.
So, but we,
We have to do an emergency appropriation, or they take back part of that salary lag if we truly come up that short. Now, things can happen like that retirement percentage of
Right.
5%. They can knock that down to 20.
Right.
We might be okay.
okay.
Right now, that's not looking that way.
Yeah.
You still don't get it. Maybe next time I will I'll show you just the salary category and the fringe category.
Yeah.
With that 8 and see how that changes.
Yeah, that might be helpful because
Yeah.
setting a number and then not changing it over the course of the year when all of our numbers that feed that
No,
don't
they-
change makes no sense to me. How do you, it's not a budget.
They took half of our vacancies.
Right.
And that's how
Right.
it came up, and we're supposed to adapt to that.
Right.
They didn't take our people,
Right?
so we just keep hiring.
Right?
So we're most likely going to be short because we're doing good with hiring.
Yeah, that all I get, but it's a dynamic document. I mean, we change it every month, right? So year-to-date through July, year-to-date through August. At
Yeah.
some point, those numbers have to change.
Yeah, those don't, but the bottom line is changing a little bit. We're getting a little bit more of a deficit.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay.
That's fine.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
How much funds and do we receive from the federal government? I mean, that's not part of the ARPA funds, that's separate, right?
Grants and that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not included in that. That's separately. The only thing is account 531210 down there. It's a special program funding. That's our matches
Okay.
for our grants.
And how much was that?
That is 2.1.
So we haven't had any, there hasn't been any issues, because I know the county is going to be faced with some issues of not responding to the DOJ reports on DEI and that kind of crap. They may hold funds back. How will that affect us?
It won't affect us because all our grants are really under St. Louis County
To the-
government, not the police.
To the tune of the $2.1 million?
No, the 2.1, well, that'll be less because we're not getting the grant and we don't have to do the match. Right, so no, that would be a separate, I think is Sarah here? No? I'm trying to think of the total number of,
Yes, there she is.
do you know offhand, like approximately the dollar amount of the grants award? Yeah, okay. It's like 18 million, I'm thinking it was around there. Yeah, so I don't know where we're at as far as hearing about grants. That would be Erica, and I know she's not here today.
All right.
As far as awards and stuff, if they've kind of closed or they're not opening as many for us grants, but we could get that to you next month if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions? Mike? Okay. No. Thank you, Tara. Appreciate it.
Kind of got grilled today, didn't you? Captain, you're up, sir.
That was, you're welcome, Terry.
I know who that was directed.
Thank you.
Technical issues?
It wasn't directed at you. It was-
Yes, it was.
Okay, maybe it was.
It's all right. Just doing my job, ma'am.
Said stuff has to make sense. Right? Who says stuff has to make sense? Who says stuff has to make sense?
Apparently my logic.
And what did?
Have you ever seen a budget that doesn't change over the course of the year? Oh, well.
Tech support.
Help is on the way.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to try to speak up. I'm struggling through a voice thing, so bear with me, please. I'll be going through July stats for you.
Okay.
Notable events for the month of July. Our citizen complaints, we actually had 0 for the month of July. So our decrease is starting to go down with that. As the year's progressing, our percentage is going down. We're 71.4% change compared to this time last year. Our internal investigation incidents, we had 10 received last month. Most of those are still a result of like preventable motor vehicle accidents. From talking to BPS, there is no trend
I'm gonna turn the screen.
that's presenting
Tim,
itself.
can you turn that screen? Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we start over again? Or?
No, you're good.
Our uses of force, we've pretty significant decrease compared to this time last year. So 20.5% decrease. In a couple of slides, you'll see that our arrests are actually up. So that's an interesting thing to see is our uses of force are going down, but our arrest numbers are actually going upwards. There's a lot to talk about there, but I'll spare you the details. But long story short, that's actually a positive thing to see. We had 37 uses of force last month. Of those, 70% continue to be physical restraint, very low level resistance. Department vehicle accidents, 76 compared to 73 this time last year. Small increase there. Our pursuits are down. We had 3 pursuits last month, so we're down 12.2% compared to this time last year. The majority of those continue to be in our 1st and 8th precincts. So almost 68% of those are in the 2 precincts. Failure to yield numbers are also down pretty significantly, a little over 900, so almost a 30% decrease compared to this time last year.
To what do we attribute that? Yeah, you too.
There's a lot of factors that would contribute to that. I would say a lot of it has to go with education. We're holding people accountable that are being convicted of those. So I think that word gets out there, and also just being proactive on our part. So education, words out there that we're going to handle that stuff seriously if you run from us. So a combination of factors there.
Good thing.
It is. That's the heat map that reflects that. So as you can see, our 1st, 8th precincts have the highest numbers there still. Pretty consistent month to month. So for the month of July, 872 arrests, 80 guns seized, and our DWI reports 40, which is the same as the month of June. So 40 and 40. So of note, I think highway safety just got 2 additional officers dedicated to DWI enforcement. So I'd expect those numbers to trend upwards as those officers get acclimated to their new unit.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
The gun seized, how do you determine, what makes up that number? Because if people can carry and they can have guns, is this just during incidents or how do you determine when to seize a gun?
Combination of factors. So either A, we're coming across those on like a call for service where a gun is utilized unlawfully, or something simple as a traffic stop, or maybe a traffic violator has a fugitive warrant and they're also in possession of a firearm, or we determine through the investigation that they have a prior felony conviction,
I got you.
they're on probation or whatnot. So there's a variety of factors that determine whether or not that person is lawfully in possession of that firearm, and if not, that's going to attribute to that number that you see up on the board.
So basically it's a unlawful possession of a gun.
Correct, yes. There are times when we might seize a gun for safekeeping or whatnot, and then they would get the gun back eventually through existing procedures.
So safekeeping, what do you mean?
there's circumstances where somebody might be stopped at a traffic stop, they could have a fugitive warrant. However, they can lawfully possess their firearm, so we might seize it temporarily and then eventually give it back. Does that make sense? Or CIT cases, whatnot.
Okay.
CIT cases or something like that, somebody's going through mental illness, that firearm's not necessarily a part of the case or whatnot. There's a variety of factors we might release a firearm back if they can legally possess it. Does that make sense?
That's a lot of information you have to process in a short period of time.
It is, and it's not, to get a firearm released back, it doesn't take place within hours and days. It can take a couple of weeks to determine that they can lawfully possess that firearm again. Or we might have to release it back through a judge's order, or the PA's office says it can be released back. There's a variety of factors that would.
So basically, some of those seized guns could have been returned.
I wouldn't say for the month of August or July, we've returned the gun back that way.
I mean, but it could.
Potentially, yeah. Any other questions on that one? Crimes against persons, with us being past the midpoint of the year, it's still good to see a lot of these numbers are trending downwards. Overall, crimes against persons is down 9%. Homicides down pretty significantly, 20 compared to 28 this time last year, almost a 30% decrease. I think there's only one category that shows a slight upward trend, and that's for aggravated assaults. It's a 1.9% change compared to this time last year. Any questions on that slide? Here's the infographic on our homicide numbers. We had 3 for the month of July, which brings our total for the year to 23. 20 of those are in county patrol areas, 3 for municipal contract precincts. Of note is our clearance rate continues to be considerably high. So that's phenomenal where we're at for our clearance rates. I think last month it was discussed, but our national clearance rate is usually around like 58%, and we exceed that pretty significantly. Of note, the 3 homicides from last month were with firearms. Crimes against property also continue to see that downward trend, 13.1% down. Robbery numbers fairly low, so that 400% you see up there is because we've had 5 so far this year compared to 1 this time last year. Crimes against society also down in almost every major category by over 10%. Calls for service with the summer months, precincts are getting busier, so the moving average, most of precincts are starting to be above that. So that's a lot of numbers to digest, but with the July going into August, I continue to see that the next month moving average would continue to be below that. I'm sorry, above that. Self-initiated calls. The 1st and 8th precincts are above the moving average. Most precincts are starting to fall below that because we're dedicating more of their deployable time towards handling calls. Top calls, pretty consistent month to month, with 6 cases being the top call for service with over 2,000. Traffic stop data. Of note regarding this slide is our bias-free policing committee met the 2nd week of July to review Q2 data, and there was nothing of significance noted, no outliers. Any questions on that slide? All right. Any questions at all? That's all I have.
I got a couple of quick ones. When we look at calls for service, do you ever look at like the number of officers in a precinct divided by the calls for service? Are most of our precincts handling a similar volume per officer?
Like a workload analysis? Yeah, that stuff's looked at fairly frequently, looking at like, our response times.
And that was my next question.
Yes. So if it's a priority 1 call, a priority 2 call, that stuff's looked at. It's determined from the time the call is received from communications to the time it's dispatched, to the time an officer actually arrives. That stuff's looked at consistently. And that determines whether or not we're going to be changing beat mapping and things like that, or number of officers in certain sectors. I think all that stuff is considered, sure.
Great.
Yes.
What do you feel is contributing to the 25% increase in prostitution? Something for you to think about.
Think about that one for a little bit. Opportunity.
The economy or whatever.
So even though I think the prostitution numbers, we've had 5. And if I had to guess, most of those are through proactive enforcement. We're probably not getting calls for that, as opposed to some of our specialized units are actually doing details, looking for that.
Captain, remind us, but my recollection is, I don't remember if it was this year or not, but we had, very early in the year, we had one prostitution situation that was counted 6 times. I don't know what that meant. I don't recall what that meant, but Tony, Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you, Al.
He wasn't here last year, so he's not going to be as familiar with it. But yes, last year we had one incident that had 10 offenses. So that could be 10 victims or 10 counts of a crime occurring within the same incident. That's similar to what's happening this year. I think there were the 5 we said, but it's 2 incidents. So there's 3 on one and 2 on another, something like that.
A lot of that is from our special investigations unit.
Yes.
That, have the other states and so on.
Typically, that's where it comes from, the special investigations. Sometimes it comes from patrol, but usually.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Julie? You're doing, okay. Yeah.
Julie's changed.
Good morning.
Morning.
Go over the totals for July for human resources. This year for retention, resignations from 2025 to 2024. We've had 5 in July of this year, 6 last year. Retirements, we've had 2 for July of this year, 5 last July. As far as professional staff, resignations stayed the same. 6 July of 25, 6 July of 24. And then so far in July of 25, we've had no retirements for pro staff and 1 from 2024. Couple updates for training. We've got Academy Class 212. They started June 30th. We have 18 remaining in that class. I would expect that's probably going to stay the number. Usually once they get through to this point, that is usually where we're at. Academy Class 213 will begin in January of 2026. And then we also have a Dispatch Academy that we're working to fill right now. That begins September 15th of this year. Some updates for you all. The applications that we've received for July for commissioned police officer this year is 44. From last year, we had 32. For pro staff, we've received 234. Last year, we had 86.
Wow.
281 applications for July this year compared to 118 from last year. It's a 138% increase. A lot of that is the jobs that we're offering and the marketing, just getting out there, being seen, being heard. We've had a lot of recruitment events, some radio time, and things like that. The Dispatcher Academy for 9/15, looks like we're going to be at 9 public safety dispatcher hires for that class. We have, for that January class for next year, we have 2 recruits already hired. We have 10 more in backgrounds. We have 50 plus in the testing phase, and I'm going to get into that at the end, for that class 213, which starts in 1 of 2026. To give you the breakdown of those dispatchers, we have 6 that we're working in backgrounds currently, and 3 we've already hired. For those of you that get the emails from myself or Kim Miner, it seems like we're constantly bringing people on board. So I'm pretty excited about that. One thing I wanted to stress is just recently we streamlined the commissioned police officer application process. That application was bulky. It just wasn't moving along the way that it should. So we met and we reduced that by 30 questions because it was just antiquated. It's huge. And when you're sitting down, there are things that we can cover in that application process later in the process so that we can move commissioned police officers through faster, which we need to do. That's going to improve our processing time. We're also looking at streamlining some of the testing as well. Some of the tests, they are also pretty good size, and we're losing a lot of people at that test for some of the questions that we can probably get squared away in backgrounds when they get to that point. So a couple things that we wanted to do to make adjustments to speed up, especially commissioned police officers. Professional staff, we've got a lot of positions that are full or are near capacity. But commissioned police officers, we need help there, and public safety dispatchers. So how can we get them through the process faster? And that's going to help us do that. That early part was bogging us down. So,
Lieutenant, 30 questions reduced out of how many, roughly?
83.
83, so close to half. All right, very good, thank you.
It's just a lot. And when we went over those, they're redundant. Quite frankly, there's 2 or 3 questions that ask the same material. So we were able to trim that down and move that down to the questionnaire or getting into backgrounds.
Can you go, sorry to ask you to do this, can you go back to your very first slide?
Absolutely.
Do we understand that that's a July, no, those are July numbers?
Very first one, sir?
Yes, sir. That one. Whoa.
There we go. All right.
Those are for the month of July. Those are
Correct,
not
sir.
year-to-date.
That's right.
Next month, could you bring us year-to-date numbers?
Absolutely.
Thank
Will
you.
do. Thanks, sir. Anything else?
Do we know what's been contributing to some of the resignations? Do we know where they're going? Or?
A lot of it is, when you get into commissioned police officers, a lot of it is, there's a million different things that could go into it. You look at staffing opportunities elsewhere. One thing that a lot of us in the room see is we might see somebody that's got 5 years or less leave, and then at some point in time, we see them come back. There's a variety of different things that happen. Some places, they're pretty low key. They're not doing a whole lot. Where out here, there's some precincts that they're just running nonstop calls for service. So it's pretty much a case by case basis depending on that employee. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, shoot, sure.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see it.
You know what I mean?
It's gone. Oh,
Good guys.
there it is, there it is.
She's my point guard.
Don't.
Give me her attention.
College golf. She's 30 years.
That's got an error on the signing page. Look at it, the signing page.
All right.
It says commission.
Good morning.
Morning.
I was asked to provide an update on the daycare center, or officially what we call the St. Louis County Police Early Childhood Education Center. It's a mouthful.
Ooh, that's a lot.
But it is open. It is finally open after the couple of years that it has taken for everybody to combine efforts from the National Law Enforcement Foundation to the FOP and the St. Louis Police Foundation, along with a lot of members of our department. A lot of people have really come together to make this happen. So as a lot of you guys already know, back in 21, when they were working on the updated strategic plan, this was brought to a commander's attention by one of the young female officers that we should maybe look into daycare opportunities for our employees because we work such crazy hours, call outs, things like that. And that commander, that group ran with it, which says a lot, I think, for our commanders, that they took an idea from an officer who's been on the road a couple years here and they made it happen. I think that shows a lot to our younger officers that you can come up with an idea and it actually will come to fruition if it's a good idea. So that's where we are, but it finally did open last month. And it is located in the 270 and 44 corridor. We don't give out the location because we obviously want to keep that private so that the public is not aware of exactly where that is, because it's obviously full of a bunch of police officers' kids. That location was based upon a survey that we did internally with our department employees. We took a look at who had kids, who was going to need childcare, what shifts they worked, where they lived, where they worked, all these different things that they answered, and then that's how that location was picked. It was actually based just upon the internal survey. Like I said, it opened in July. There's no signage on the building, but I'm going to run through just a couple of pictures so you can see the inside. These are actual photos. These are not renditions. These are actual photos from inside there. That's obviously the infant room there, bunch of little baby beds. This is another one of the daycare rooms. Another one. They all look very similar to me. It's been a long time since I had a little kid. They look awfully nice. The tour, that was pretty impressive there. So, and then the playground, which is awesome. Now they did just within the last week or so put some privacy screening around the fencing so that the businesses right in that area don't have clear visibility of our kids, and our kids can't see whatever nonsense is going on outside there, just in case there is any nonsense. So they did make that addition after these photos were taken. But we are also adding 24-hour overnight childcare within the next couple months, which is also amazing because you think about our department, the youngest of our members are on that midnight shift. They're the ones starting their families in need of childcare. So they're actually working on the licensing right now to make that happen within the next couple months, which is very exciting, like I said, for our young officers. And ribbon cutting ceremony will be coming soon. There's National Law Enforcement Foundation is working with the FOP on that. Just a lot of stakeholders involved who want to be a part of it. So trying to come up with dates where everyone can come together has been a little bit challenging, but we're hoping we see that here within the next month or so. That's it. Any questions?
It looks great.
As far as the financials moving
fantastic.
forward, who's in charge of the facility?
So the National Law Enforcement Foundation is actually in charge of the facility. So the building is theirs. They're responsible for the lease. They're responsible for all of that. And then fundraising efforts come from a combination of the FOP, the St. Louis Police Foundation, and the National Law Enforcement Foundation.
And the St. Louis County Police.
And the St. Louis County Police Department. I mean, the people who are attending, they do have to pay. It's just, it's a discounted rate. So
they pay KinderCare or somehow?
They pay KinderCare,
that's-
yes. Yes, KinderCare is the provider of the services. They provide the teachers, the staff, all of that, yes.
Are there other kids combined or just officer kids?
Just St. Louis County Police Department kids. We do have pro staff are available to send their kids there as well. But once we reach that maximum threshold for the number of kids that they can have, then it will be cut off, and it will be on a basis of there are some criteria that we developed at the very beginning of this, as far as what criteria you had to meet to make that cut. But essentially, yeah, all of employees of just the police department, and that's it.
Lieutenant, what's capacity look like? So you talked about when we hit capacity, how close are we?
We're not there yet, but they're adding families every week. I talked to the director yesterday, and he said every week we're adding a few more families.
And with summer closing out and school, back to school and everything else,
Yes, yes. And prior to July, you're talking about asking people to put their kids in a place that they hadn't laid eyes on. They couldn't meet any of the teachers. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, as a parent, I would be a little skeptical too. But since it has opened its doors, like I said, they've been flocking in every week, more and more people.
When you have a moment, could you get us the actual capacity?
Yes.
That'd
Yes.
be great. Thank you.
Actual capacity is around 65. And there's room, they're expanding this fall. There's another part of this building that will be opening up. Those renters are moving out, and they're going to expand into that portion, which will add another about 10 or so kids. So capacity for it is around 65, depending upon times of day and that type of thing and ages of the kids.
And then you'll get us utilization currently or by next month? Yeah.
It could fill up, yes, that quickly. But
be great.
yes, it's filling up very quickly. They're happy with it. KinderCare is very happy with it. National Law Enforcement Foundation, everybody's very happy with the numbers as they are.
Thank
Do you think we'll have the opportunity to open a second facility, like maybe
hope
in
so.
North County?
I hope so. That would be fantastic. I know they're looking at that for a couple of years down the road. We want to get this one filled up and running and make sure that, everything is operating as it should. And then, yeah, definitely there's a potential for that.
Yeah, at the open house, I talked to a young officer, and they said the cost savings is just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month.
It's immense.
And the facility is gorgeous.
It really is. It's a very, very nice building there. And what they've done, from the safe rooms to the security efforts that they've put into that building are just incredible. Yes.
Thank you, well done.
All right, thank you.
I know the night that I was out there for the open house, one officer and his family said that this is going to save them about $800 a month to send their kids to this daycare. And she did mention the safe rooms that are out there. The pictures were great, but you really need to go out there to see what it looks like. It's a real nice place out there. Second precinct, that's me. So we had our quarterly meeting on July the 7th in reference to the second precinct and property control and intelligence center out there. I'll start from the bottom. The range is complete. The firing range is complete. They've done all the work out there. They spent all the offer money to get it done. The only thing that was left was a concrete pavement over some gravel that needed to be done, and I think we can live with that, but the range is actually complete. We had Lieutenant Warner and his staff did a walkthrough through the second precinct facility, and they said it looked great, okay? And I was talking to Tom Heinz just the other day. He said that the facility is about 70% complete. They've even kind of changed the probable opening date from June to maybe April, but that's tentative. We're on track to spend all $46 million by June 30th of 2026. I did go out there one day last week, and they got the lettering up on the building. I think Captain Romo was out there also, and I was terribly disappointed with what they put up there. The building brick is beige in color. It's beige in color. The lettering that they put up on the precinct is also beige, because so you really can't see it. You can look at Antonio Valentine's name up there from a distance, and you can't even make out the letters. So I talked with Tom about that. They're going to work on changing those letters. I don't know if they're going to paint them or however they're going to do it, but totally unacceptable the way they got it up there. The letters look great, but you just can't see them with the contrast. So that's about it. As far as the financing, in our last meeting on July 7th, there was about $800,000 that was not encumbered for this project. The total budget, we estimated what we knew was $46 million. So we were about $800,000 short of the money needed to complete this. The project right now is $368,000 over the $46 million. Public Works plan was to take contingency money from the first precinct and the third precinct to cover the $800,000 discrepancy. 368 that we're short, and you're going to use another 432 for any additional needs that might need to happen out there at that second precinct. They were going to take money from the first and third contingency money to cover that $800,000. The great thing about that, when they looked to see what kind of money was left from the third and the first, they came up with $5.6 million. $5.6 million they came up from the first and the third. So they're going to take $800,000 of that to cover the $800,000 on the $46 million, and that's going to leave us $4.8 million to do whatever we want to do with that money in regards to work on the precincts. I talked to Paul Kryler this morning. That money, we got time to spend that money. It can't be used for anything else other than work on the precincts. Doesn't need to be the first or the third. It could be the seventh precinct. I talked with the executive staff about that a while back. I know we designed the second precinct. We designed it without a sally port. Money ran short. We didn't have that $6 million to build a sally port. 4.8, Tom is going to talk with Navigate next week to get another estimate on doing a sally port for the second precinct. At one point it was 6 million. He's looking to get a more updated estimate on doing the sally port. Whatever that may be, we're looking at about $4.8 million that we have sitting aside. Paul Kryler told me it's our money. Can't be used for anything else. And we have time to spend that $4.8 million.
Okay.
Questions?
I'd call out Public Works on the Range project in particular. They had less than 1% change orders on that project, but the service we've been getting from Public Works is just outstanding with Tom Hines and his people. And the other thing is we tend to call out people when they're not doing as well, but I had the opportunity to have lunch with Tom Wright and Brian Underwood with Wright Construction, and they're really, they've taken this project to heart, particularly the second precinct. But they're, as you know, they built the third precinct as well. But I think they're just doing a great job for us, and just appreciate them. We're too, we always fixate on the problems. This is going to be a great project.
Yeah, I've been in constant contact with Tom. You know, he's been working. He's the new Kevin Underwood for our department. Kevin actually works for Navigate now.
It works for Wright Construction.
Right, I'm sorry, right. So no, they've been working well with us. And Stephanie, she's been updated with our quarterly meetings, giving us a lot of information. And like I said, I was totally shocked when they told me that they found $5.6 million contingency money from the first and the third that we can use. And, you know, there's no rush in using it. Tom suggested that let's just let them finish the second precinct first, finish that first. If we decide that we want to add a sally port to that, you know, let's do that later. Let's do that later instead of delaying the completion of the second precinct now. And like I said, right now we have 4.8. He's looking to get another estimate to see if it's still 6 or maybe less.
Chief, what, if anything, can we do in the 4 precincts we don't own, right? To keep them current, to keep them modern, to invest in them? Do we have to go through the 4 cities, loosely termed, right? Or how do we update those too?
Yeah, we have not ever spent money, I don't think, on the contract precincts. That's pretty much their responsibility to update those. I wish they would do something with the Fenton precinct, but they have not. I don't know if you guys ever been out to the Fenton precinct. It's pretty much about as big as this room for the police officers, but we have not put money into those municipal contracts.
Do we ask the municipalities to put money into them for us? Do we say, here's the things we need in order to stay current to support your communities?
We have not up to this point asked them to do that. You know, they tend to spend as little as they possibly can, but we have not asked them to do that, no, sir.
Should we be?
We can always ask. We can always ask. Thank you.
Okay.
North County, Captain Morgan.
I got it.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody?
Morning.
So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody who is part of the North County family. It takes more than just the supervisors that are there, the officers that are there to ensure that our North County residents are safe. So all the units from all the different bureaus, we are very thankful for your assistance in making sure that the North County precinct stays relevant when it comes to crime enforcement or law enforcement. So we have been very fortunate to have our building dedicated to the life and legacy of Joanne Liscombe, who unfortunately lost her life January of 1991 in one of our incorporated areas of Blackjack. We're very proud to have our name above our doors to greet our visitors every single day. We take that very seriously. For all our fallen officers, we use that as motivation to continue to do a great job in the North County Precinct. Before I get too far in this, I want to introduce my lieutenants, Lieutenant Joya Jordan. I just flipped her name all around. Sorry. That's how it's written down, is backwards. Sorry. Joya Jordan. She's on my day shift.
Stand up, Joya.
Stand up, Joya.
That's Joya. It's written backwards, so I apologize. And then my midnight supervisor is Lieutenant Earl Chambers. He's actually on daddy duty today, so he could not make it. And then the person who hates me the most in the precinct is my administrative lieutenant, Corey Simons. I put him through the ringer most days, but the three of them, along with the rest of my staff, do an outstanding job in leading these men and women into some of the most chaotic situations, real life situations that they have to take home with them. I'm very proud to be the head of that leadership in our precinct. We're going to just touch on these numbers very briefly because they've already been touched upon. This was as of August the 2nd. Our numbers continue to be consistent in the area of crimes against persons. What drives those numbers are our assaults. Most of these incidents are occurring inside of the residence, so we don't get an actual chance to maybe cut these off if we see them on the street or something, but our numbers are still down a little bit over 5% in this area. Crimes against property, I have highlighted here our strong on robberies. Also, I should have highlighted our shoplifting. Those two areas consistently are the driving forces in our numbers. Although those numbers are up, we do a pretty good job of trying to talk to our citizens, explaining them about sitting in their cars idly, or talking to our business owners about what actually dictates a shoplifting, because we get a lot of them that are not. Ultimately, if we can identify these people a little earlier, maybe we can take them out of the equation. But we're down 17% in that area as well. I think this has been said in pretty much every presentation for the precincts. Crimes against society continues to be down due to the changes in our laws. We're down 6% in that area. Moving on to our directed calls of service, just as it was spoken earlier, the calls tend to be geared around sick cases and alarms. What I want to bring your attention is this is just for our that last period from July 21st to August the 3rd. After you get past the sick cases and alarms, those are very real calls that these officers are being directed to. I think it's important to understand what we're actually asking these officers to do on a daily basis. To your right there, you'll see we're on pace to nearly cross about 90,000 calls of service in the first precinct this year. What you see there is just the numbers through July of 25. We're already at 48,000, close to 49,000 when you combine our self-initiated calls of service and our directed calls of service. Again, touching on the self-initiated calls of service, I've already talked about this, but just in that time period, we're able to get 407 of those completed, various areas, mainly in the area of traffic, as that's one of the biggest things that we hear in our meetings with our stakeholders. I know it's always asked about how the 4th of July went in the precinct. So to the right there, you'll see we broke it down into 3 days instead of just the one. What's most notable here is what's in red. Before the 4th of July, we had 19 shots fired incidents that we responded to. On the 4th, we had 40 shots fired. And then after the 4th, we had 50 shots fired calls. Although they are shooting fireworks, it's very important to understand these men and women are going to actual calls of shots fired in conjunction with with the fireworks being shot. It's important that we understand, again, what we're asking them to do. So this is a glimpse of what that looks like. Community engagement, there's a number of things that are up there. I just want to highlight 2 of them really quickly. The precinct was very successful when it's back to school launch. So we had a number of events that we did here on August the 2nd. And we have an event coming up with Councilwoman Webb where she has actually used our precinct to do her town hall meetings. They've been very successful, large turnout. And if you've ever worked in a North County precinct, you understand how important community engagement is in keeping our precinct running correctly. ShotSpotter, I just want to point this out to you. ShotSpotter is a big key to us. It helps us out in a lot of investigations. There are a lot of other municipalities that are listed on there that butt up against us, including Jennings. We're just going to focus on the Castle Point numbers and the Spanish Lake numbers. In those two areas, there were a little bit over 3,000. I'm sorry, I'm behind on. A little bit over 3,000 incidents reported. Just so everybody's aware, every one of those calls requires a 2-officer response. So 3,000 calls of the number of calls we went to ShotSpotter in those two areas, 2 officers respond to that at a number of 3,100. In the course of those 3,100 calls, just in those areas again that I highlighted, there were a little bit over 9,000 actual rounds fired in that same time period. Again, 9,000, actually 9,141. So I'm going to be very quick with this. We've had a number of successes in the first precinct when it comes to the area of enforcement. Nearly 15,000 arrests, almost 300 guns seized, over 2,000 or 2,100 citations. Most importantly, especially to my residents, is those parking tickets. That's one of the biggest things that we have complaints about. And then something that was very surprising to me is the number of DWIs, as we don't have very many DWIs that come across our table. 78 is a tremendous number. Staffing wise,
Captain Morgan, I love it. A little copyright infringement going on there, but okay.
I didn't do it. Staffing wise, we're sitting at 1 on limited duty, 2 officers on maternity leave, 1 sergeant on maternity leave, and we have 5 detachments. For time constraints,
Sir, I'm gonna interrupt for a moment.
Sure.
Can you go back to that page?
Captain Morgan page.
Yeah, I want him to describe his picture a little bit. No, I'm kidding.
I don't even know how to go back.
It's all right. So you gave us some detail there. Where do you stand on your overall staffing utilization?
We are staffed at 88%. We're operating in that 65 to 70% range.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Very quickly, I'm going to go through some of the jewels of our precinct to get us to the end here. The Twillman House was built in 1870. It was built by a family that came to the North County area in 1842 from Germany. It was purchased by the St. Louis Spanish Lake Community Association back in 2005. Still stands as a community resource for us in a community center. Have the Larimore House, very beautiful house. It was built in 1858. It has 14 fireplaces and 12-foot ceilings. They purchased about 1,000 acres back then at about $10 to $12 an acre. Well over $500,000 is what that will cost at this point. This is also a wedding venue for our area. One of the last ones that we're going to talk about is Fort Bellefontaine. This is named after a spring that was located very close to this location. It is the first United States military installation in the Louisiana territory. I don't think a lot of people know that. Back in 1986, St. Louis County purchased that, and it now operates as a park for us. Can't go without talking about our history if we don't talk about 11,815 Benham Road, the great bathroom in there that you could probably fall through to the basement. If you know, you know. Many of our leadership has held positions in that location in many different ranks. That place will now become a company or organization called Youth in Need. Very good company. They do a lot surrounding foster care, counseling, and our unhoused outreach. I'm moving through as fast as possible, guys. So in there's a typo up there. So in September of 24, we opened our doors at the new North County precinct. It says 25 on there, so I apologize. We're going on a year there, but not on substantial completion, so we have not reached our year of warranty yet. That won't happen until 25. In that time period, we've done a numerous of community events there, and we're very proud of this building. It is absolutely beautiful if you have not seen it. Just a quick look at some of our officers in the precinct. As you guys have seen over the years, you guys have actually had a lot of our officers be rewarded and recognized for their behaviors in the line of duty. We're very proud of our officers. They are the heartbeat that makes us go. And we're very proud of our partnership with Quick Trip that has actually started to recognize all of our officers across the county for actions that may not be necessary for an award of something to put on their chest. If you know anything about community, anything about the North County precinct, you know community is at the utmost important. It takes a lot of work to make sure that happens. Over the last year, we've had a number of disasters in the North County precinct. And one of the things I'm very proud of is the response that our officers had, along with the resources that the department has. We were successful in bringing back some normalcy to these areas. From the northernmost portion of our precinct that experienced tornadoes into the central part of our precinct near Blackjack that had a number of houses ravaged by fire. We were able to reach out to them and get them back some normalcy. We continue to do walk and talks, community engagement events. We even assist our four-legged friends. As you see there, the alpaca that made the news. It was very good. We're very proud of what our officers do in the community. I'm going to wrap this up with a couple of showcases. Quentin Williams, he's one of our MPOs. He started a program at Westview Middle School, where he started a youth program for the young men in that school that has now transpired out to the entire St. Louis area. They hold 22 national championship titles, actually 23. They just got one here recently, where they perform step routines against people throughout the state. Throughout the country. They do a great job there. Will Johnson, he is a advocate and a very, I don't know, it's strange to me, but he does medieval battles. It's sort of like 5-on-5 brawls, as well as the USC 101 fights. He's a pro in that area, and the stuff you see him wearing, that is very appropriate. They use blunt weapons, and they basically just beat the crap out of each other. He doesn't do that at work, thank God. Lastly is Ashley Page. Ashley Page weighs a whole whopping 150 pounds on herself. But she was able to gain 885 pounds in one of her powerlifting totals. That's 335 pounds on a squat, 350 on a deadlift, and 200 on a bench press. So she is, as they say, a bad girl.
Don't arm wrestle her.
And we'll end with this fun fact. The morale in the North County precinct is extremely high in the last 2 years, at least that I've been there. We hold the title for a number of babies. We have 25 of those have been blessed to our precinct in the last 2 years. We have 3 more that are going to be born by the end of the year, bringing us to 28. In 2 years, the number of hours, there's only 17,520 hours in 2 years. In that time period, our officers were able to be with their loved ones for 13,340 of those hours. That's all I have. It's a mouthful, but have any questions? I hope not.
I sent you a note. When I popped in one night with my wife to look at your facility, your desk officer came out from behind the glass to welcome us, and he had no idea who I was. Thought I was just a citizen stopping by, and stopped 2 other cars that night just to say hello. And I could sense they're proud of who they are, and they're proud of the building. So thank you and your leadership team.
Standard is the standard.
Yeah, I want to commend you because obviously we see by the number of calls that number one first precinct hits pretty hard. So thanks for the hard work you do on those things.
for this job. Thank you. Sorry it took so long.
No, it's a lot.
All right.
If you get tired, we'll put you down on the third where you can rest.
Ooh, he didn't hear you. He didn't hear you.
Lieutenant, you got BPS?
So just a quick, I will not be as long as Captain Morgan. My name is John Conrady. I'm a lieutenant in the Bureau of Professional Standards. Captain Price cannot be here today. He is on vacation, so I'm filling in for him. I'm just going to introduce I'm going to introduce all the sergeants. Ebony Miller was unable to be here today. She has some business to take care of at home, and so I just want to introduce them. The sergeants are really the ones who do the most of the heavy lifting in DPS. And so Sergeant Clayton Fair is here. You can stand. And he's been on for 19 years. Ebony is not here, but she's been on for 15. Brandon Fiesel, 17 years. Columbus Love, 18 years. Dan Bradley, 17 years. And Pat Bradley, 16 years, no relation. So that makes up BPS. Again, one of the things that we do is we do a lot of things that people do not realize. A lot of things. Until you really get in there. So all uses of force go through the chain of command and they come to end pursuits, department vehicle accidents. All of those come to Captain Price and myself. We review every single one of those. And so we take the assessment. So not only are we reviewing the officer's actions, but we're also reviewing the supervisor's actions during their administrative review all the way through the chain of command. We do quite a few internal investigations. So far, as you can see, we've done about 80. I think Captain Bland had said that we had done 80 this year. And then we handle some informal actions and citizen complaints. Informal actions, citizen complaints. Informal actions are something that could be much of anything as talking to an officer about their body cam and how it needs to improve, or that they need to improve on report writing. It could be a number of different things. So we keep all of that information. Citizen complaints, we take all citizen complaints. You can send us a letter, you can send us a phone call, you can send us an email, you can come in person. We take them all. We do some informal complaints with citizens, firearm discharges. We handle a lot of lawsuits. Any sort of lawsuit, when we get notified, we categorize it, and then we work with the county counselor's office. In fact, we actually spend a lot of time with the county counselor's office. Once a week, we meet with them and discuss quite a bit of things, particularly risk management. Giglio requests, that's one that we can always talk about further if you guys have any questions. But Giglio requests.
What is it?
A Giglio request is a prosecutor, federal or state, we are required by law from a U.S. Supreme Court ruling to provide a BPS file of the officers who are testifying in a court case. So if you happen to be a detective and you've made an arrest and it's going to go to trial, the defense can ask for your BPS file so they can review to see if you are a reputable police officer or a reputable witness. That's something that we spend quite a bit of time with, particularly with the federal prosecutors. We have a lot of federal detachments and a lot of cases being made down there. So that's usually a weekly event for us. We're constantly working with the deputy chief and Captain Bland on making policy updates and changes where we see that there's gaps, that the particular policy may no longer be viable and it needs to be updated, or we need a new policy, or we need to remove a policy. So we guide them on things that we're seeing and how it's manifesting on the street. And then most recently, what we've been doing is that we've been trying to train all new supervisors on the CBA and how to handle the CBA when it comes to working with their officers on informal inquiries and then internal investigations and how they properly should send that information to us through our routing system and how they should handle it one-on-one with those officers.
Who's leading that training?
So far, it's been myself. My sergeants fill in when I'm not there, and Captain Price will be picking it up. But most of the time when it comes down with it, it'll be me. And I've been recorded, unfortunately, I didn't necessarily like that, but, and we're showing all the new sergeants the recording of the training that all the supervisors had before. But so far, it's been well received, and we're continuing to do it and continue to build on it. It'd be important for us to be a part of that for every new supervisor that gets promoted. Our reports for the year, 936. I know I don't really have a breakdown. There are some breakdowns. The reason why is that there's so many little things. So if anything comes in, anything at all comes into our office, it gets a report number. Somebody touches it, somebody looks at it, somebody sees it, and then we articulate into our internal program what we did with it. Sometimes these reports can take, honestly, it could take maybe 5 minutes to complete, to categorize something that we received online, to months and months of investigation and everything in between. But if you are a citizen, if you are a police officer, if you're a supervisor, if you contact us, it is cataloged and it is a supervisor looks at it. And as you can see, we have quite a bit of years of experience. So we work as a group in there. So when we're discussing things, when we're discussing cases, we work together and put our heads together, make sure we come up with the best scenario. I can answer any questions.
Are those numbers year-to-date numbers or?
Year-to-date, yes, 936. So we're about on pace for what we did in 2024.
So 2024 and 2023 is the entire year?
Yes, those are in the entire year. So 1,804 for 2024 and then 1,794 in 2023. And those aren't like citizen complaints. That is anything. That includes uses of force, pursuits, a citizen coming in saying they want to make a complaint on an officer and we realize it's not us, actually you need to contact the city. Or they have a concern about something that's taking place at the jail. We get them directly in touch. So we keep track of everything. So we take their information that they have and then we make sure it's routed to the right government organization, to the right person that that can handle their complaint. We just don't send them off to a general number. We find the BPS, the internal affairs for the jail, internal affairs for the city. We make sure they get the right place.
Do you guys participate in the critical incident videos that have been published?
We do not.
Those are really well done.
Questions?
Yeah, I have three. Two of them are directly related. It's the same thing, just in a different capacity. So as you look at the carrots that you have up there of the, 12 different things, if you or your team could put those into like the top three from a number of reports perspective, what would those be?
I would, uses of force, department vehicle accidents, and internal investigations.
And if you go to the amount of capacity, the time that you spend on each one of those collectively, what would be, would it break out the same way, or do you spend more time on your Giglio request? I'm just using it.
We spend the most time on internal investigations, by far.
And then the last question is, what do you need from us? What do you all need from us to be even better, as good as you are?
No, as we look through and we've updated the manual and gone through, there's one last piece that we need to streamline, and that involves, it's a two-pronged thing. One is getting the information. The citizen complaints are supposed to come to the board for you to review, but sometimes these files are massive, and so I have a couple ideas to streamline it to you. It might be appropriate to talk at some point in closed session about getting those to you so you can read those in a much faster and easier way instead of handing off a massive file from one person to another. So that's the last piece of the puzzle.
Thank you. We would appreciate that. We do appreciate seeing the complaints.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you, gentlemen. Lady.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you, Chief. We have before us the minutes from our July 9th meeting. Having reviewed those, is there a motion to accept the minutes from July 9th?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
I should, Amy, I did not note that Commissioner Thompson's here for the voting. Okay, you got it? Okay, thank you.
Perceptive.
I know. For the record, just want to make sure. Since we're voting. Letters of communication, Amy, I'm gonna look at you again. Nothing incoming or outgoing?
We had a couple of emails again. I think one pertained to ICE and immigration. Are those being addressed now? It came into that Board of Police Commissioners email. I know Lieutenant Panis used to respond to those.
I think Lieutenant Rodriguez has been doing it since, but I don't see him over there.
We'll find out.
Yeah, if we can get copied on the response, I just,
I'll find out.
not thinking about the validity of them, but I do
Right.
think we should respond to everybody that asks us something.
I do remember seeing the one about ICE. Okay. On old business, anything? As we turn to new business, do we need to, well, we can still vote. We don't have, Commissioner Athwood stepped away, but we can still have enough to vote on. We have professional service agreements, letters A through O for approval under contracts and new business. Is there a motion to approve the professional service agreements, letters A through O?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. We are voting on the approval of new contracts. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Chief, we have several general orders in front of us. Good morning. You're going to use the guy with the best voice, right?
I drank some water, so I should be okay for a few minutes. Yes, I have four for recommendation for approval.
Okay.
We have correctional institutions, drug and alcohol testing program, our CIT program, which was actually approved last month, just needs to be signed off on, and then our mobile ticketing and traffic citation accountability. They're all updates to existing policies, and I can address any questions you might have. Or I can give a synopsis of each if you'd like.
Well, let's take them one by one, just so we're clear. The first one is the correctional institutions. Any questions on that about what changes?
Just the usual one that I ask is, so we see all the black highlights of the changes. What are we after with the changes? What's substantially changing in it?
Just to make sure that we have solidified procedures if we were to respond for a call for service to any one of the four main correctional institutions in St. Louis County. So you have Eastern Missouri, Jennings, Family Court, and Justice Services. All four of those institutions were consulted regarding what they would do in the event of certain circumstances, and then to make sure they're aware of what we would do if we were to respond there to assist them.
And it looks like Jennings in particular, talking about everything, but obviously the county juvenile detention area were substantially rewritten. Is there something specific around that we should be aware of around Jennings?
No, just to make sure that, I think the last time that was updated was several years ago, just to make sure that everything's current based on their current procedural changes, anything that we need to be aware of, and make sure that we complement what they would do if we were to receive a call there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions on that first general order? I'm going to approve them one by one. Let's approve them one by one.
I'll make a motion that we approve General Order 25.0/016.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Let's move to drug and alcohol testing.
Major changes to that was just for like routine drug testing, highlighting our procedures on the back end if somebody were to have like a positive drug test for like a prescription medication and whatnot, to make sure their information, their medical information is protected, because a lot of officers are on prescribed medication. They might test positive for like a false positive, like an opioid, even though it's associated with the prescription medication. So just to solidify like those routine drug testing procedures. And also in the circumstance, if there's like a testing based on reasonable suspicion, like if there's an intoxicated officer in the rare incident that were to happen, make sure those procedures are identified, that supervisors know exactly what they need to do to handle that situation, which could lead to an internal investigation just depending on the circumstance.
All right, two questions. The first one goes into all the definition rewrites. Is that just updating things or are those
Updates.
updates?
Yes.
And the second one gets into the reasonable suspicion. Again, a very significant rewrite into that section.
Correct. The main rewrite is just to make sure that we have like a step-by-step process for supervisors to follow. I think past the earlier or the current version has some ambiguity in there, not clear direction for our supervisors to know exactly what needs to be done and to make sure that in the circumstance, if it's brought to their attention, they know like step-by-step procedures to follow.
So that's a benefit to the suspected employee and to the supervisor then?
Correct.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions on that general order? Any motion to approve?
I move to approve general order 25.
055.
Second.
Thank you. He seconded. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Moving on to the CIT program.
Correct. There are two major changes to that is for communications to be able to route certain calls for service that would typically have been sent to a police officer to respond to the community behavioral health liaison for different types of resources. Not all calls for service would require a police officer, so they'd be able to vet that. Also, it allows our officers to now do a CIT referral report through CARE as opposed to doing a separate system, which they used to do. Two major changes there.
Questions on that one? There a motion to approve?
25, general order 086. Move that it be approved.
Need a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. And finally, the mobile ticketing and traffic citations.
Yes, sir. That's just to be more in line with our accountability when it comes to citations and summonses, since we now use mobile ticketing as opposed to you used to do handwritten tickets.
Mhm.
Now everything's done electronically. They're getting electronic receipt or a receipt based off of an electronic system.
Right.
So there's no longer really need to keep a paint copy of a ticket like we used to do. So when it comes to that accountability, it's all changed. This policy aligns us with that.
I'm familiar with this one firsthand.
What happens when the computers go down?
So the backup would be that, yes, we can still do a traditional ticket like we used to do. The violator would not know the difference. They would just get their summons copy as soon as possible. The system goes back up. That handwritten information would be entered in the mobile ticketing. So that same accountability exists. So there is redundancy there if it were to go down.
Any other questions?
Move the general order 25-099 be approved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All four of the general orders have been approved. Do we have anything for the public forum? Amen. No. Oh, sorry, we have a question.
Did we ever get a resolution on the young lady who was there the last time about the paint overspray of the car being situation?
We are going to have some more discussions on that, but you're right, we have been investigating that. This was the paint overspray lady who spoke with us last time. That
is not
happened.
resolved yet.
Has not been resolved. We've had several communications of county counselor's office and so forth. We'll talk about it further.
Unacceptable.
Agreed. We got to get on top of that. All right. If there's nothing else, the Board of Police Commissioners may vote to go into closed meeting for legal advice and review of claims and lawsuits involving the Police Department, Section 610.0211 RSMO and Section 114.020.11 SLCRO, and for the preparation and discussion for negotiations with employee groups, Section 610.0219 RSMO and Section 114.020.19 SLCRO. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think we have to have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
Thank you to everyone. We are going to move to closed session. Okay, we are back from closed session. Essentially, two votes taken. One was on a disciplinary matter. We voted unanimously to dismiss, and a vote to reconvene in open session unanimously. Anything else?
No, sir.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second.
Amy?
That's so
Commissioner Ashworth.
fast.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Wild.
Yes.